Hi Evolution fans, it's Tristan Ogilvy here from the IGN AU and creationists, whatever, everyone's welcome. That's why we're talking about religion already. Tristan Ogilvy here from the IGN AU team. I'm joined of course by Max Payne 3. No, it's not Luke Riley, but you got a really Max Payne 3.
It's
if your hair was shorter...
dense. Yeah, I was thinking about it, but...
Yeah. I don't think it's by accident.
Couldn't commit.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I don't do any Hawaiian shirts.
Enough about Max Payne 3, because that's got nothing to do with Evolve. But we've just played Evolve.
We have.
We haven't really. We played it like days ago. But let's pretend that we've just played it. Oh, just fresh.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Evolve, the game, the first-person shooter game, well, first and third-person shooter game, from the makers of the Left 4 Dead series, Total Rock. Now,
sounds like a song that you'd hear on the Muppet Show.
Yeah, Total Rock.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
I actually wanted to preface this with, because I played a lot of the original Left 4 Dead.
See, I played very little of it.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I didn't play much of the second one since it was butchered by Australian censors, if you remember.
Yes, they took out all the bodies and the gore.
They turned it from 1987 RoboCop into 2014 RoboCop, effectively. And I boycotted it just out of principle, because, yeah, I think when you kill bodies, they just, instead of exploding, they vanish. They vanish, exactly. Evolve won't have the same problem here, I don't think, because we're all grown-ups now.
We are. We grow up.
Which is good. And Evolve is extremely violent.
Yeah.
Well, pretty violent.
Pretty violent.
let's set up let's set up exactly what it is, because it's not zombies this time. It's
a monster.
Monster.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether, well, it's an alien, I guess, but it's kind of this gradually increasing creature,
evolving
creature, increasing in size, that these 4 human hunters need to kill.
That's pretty much it.
So it's 4 and 5, 4 versus 1. There's five players. So everyone who lost their minds over Titanfall is probably going to be twice as angry, because
that's right. Yeah.
How many fewer players in Battlefield 4 is this? I can't even count.
Infinite.
Yeah. Anyway, 4 and 1, but it's really unique. Like I've never played anything like that.
Actually, this is going to make me sound like a jerk, but the first thing I thought of when I played it was the first thing I thought of when I controlled the monster was Aliens Colonial Marines. Hear me out, because I had the misfortune of reviewing that game for IGN last year. It was a rough period in my life. But in that game, when you controlled the aliens, they had sort of lunging attacks and things, very similar to the way you control the monster in Evolve. You've got the third-person view. It's feels kind of awkward at first, and you've got these sort of lunging moves and things like that. Don't cancel your pre-order for Evolve. It's much better than Aliens Colonial Marines.
I did find the monster did have a sort of far more noticeable difficulty curve than the human hunters. The human hunters, very traditional, fire, run around,
throw some landmines.
Pretty easy to get a grasp on, but the monster was a little bit more difficult, particularly with all the sort of special moves, the perks that you apply to him or her. I don't know what it is. With the lunge and then throwing the rocks and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, because by the time that you've reached stage 3 or whatever is the full evolution, I think, you're basically using absolutely every button. I sound like my mum now. You're using every button on the controller. But yeah, they've got so many different attacks and things that I imagine you get used to over time. But in our little gameplay session, I kept pressing the wrong. I meant to do a lunge and I ended up breathing fire.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it right. And some of the attacks you have to hold, like the lunge attack, you have to sort of hold it and then aim it and then release it. Yeah. But then it's not all the same. I think what I'm interested to see is when Evolve comes out, how quickly people become accustomed to the controls and how that affects the balance of the matches. Because one thing that I noticed when we were playing it, and we played it for several hours, is that almost always, except for you, the hunters prevailed.
Except when I was the monster.
And killed the monster, except when Tristan was the monster. So it seems to me like if you get a bunch of equally skilled people in a room, that 4 equally skilled people with underpowered characters, like compared to the monster, is still going to be enough to take out the monster because the monster is just a little tricky to get a handle on. Which makes me wonder that if these people sort of experience, increases, at the same level, how good are you going to have to be at the monster to take down? Because like you took down a bunch of us who'd never played the game before. We played it for 90 minutes or so. How much more difficult is it going to be to take down 4 hunters that have played it for many, many, many weeks? Many weeks.
It's a good question. But because we had the Turtle Rock guys there playing with us.
We're being coached.
Being coached by them. But when they control, one of them, I can't remember his name unfortunately, but one of them controlled the monster. And absolutely, it was like, from like a sequence from a Predator movie or something, a bunch of humans just getting eviscerated left, right and center and screaming in terror and stuff. Like, I think you can get really good at being the monster. And there's also like lots of different sort of monster techniques, like because there's a stealth button when you're because if you're not using in stealth mode with the monster, you easily
leave tracks.
You leave tracks. But that can be used to your advantage because you can leave a bunch of tracks, lead all the human hunters behind you, switch to stealth mode, which stops the tracks, then double back or climb up a tree or whatever it is, because there's like a free running sort of Assassin's Creed kind of trigger button to sort of climb up anything in the map. And so then you can set these little ambushes and things like. But it seems to require a lot more thought than just seeing something and shooting it.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Totally,
it's a bad thing if you're not that bright.
But when we got sprung by the dev, when we all landed, because the monster comes, the monster is in the location already and gets a slight head start while the humans drop out of their dropship. And the advice we were given constantly by the guy who was there from Turtle Rock was to run as fast as you can, make as much ground between you and the hunters as possible, and then try to, set up an ambush, say, by going into stealth mode and preventing them from following the tracks. In this case, we got on the ground and there were no tracks. There was nothing. But what that meant is that he hadn't gone anywhere. He just hidden immediately where we were going to be and instantly ambushed us.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Knocked us into the river where the big crocodile thing was.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because the other thing in this, because the map we played, at least, I imagine all the maps, well, actually, yeah, they would, because you need it. Is the fauna, the sort of little dinosaur things and whatever they are, these alien kind of creatures that you, as the monster, you have to eat in order to, replenish health and evolve. But yeah, that's funny because some of the wildlife in these maps are quite savage, and in some of the games that we played, they ended up deciding the game by like biting the monster when it was low on health or something. You just the monster would just die from sort of natural causes or something like that.
It's funny.
There's some curveballs.
And the last game that we played, which was decided by some mines, because the matches they're not like quick fire. Well, I guess they could be if you're really, really bad at it. But they're sort of matches that take place over, say, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And they're kind of wars of attrition, really.
Yeah.
Because as a hunter, you can die up to 3 times, and as a monster, you have your armor that sort of grows over you, but then you also have health. So when your armor disappears, you need to go and feed. And so it's kind of it's this real battle of attrition. So it takes quite a while. And you forget about things like the sound traps you've laid down and the mines you've laid down. And it's like, that last match that we played, the monster was in the process of escaping with very little health and ran into the clump of mines that literally the first thing you did when you arrived on the map was just throw down some mines.
That's right, yeah. I think I hit the wrong button or something.
And you just forget all of that kind of stuff.
And it decided the game.
Yeah, it decided the game.
What about the human classes? Because there's 4 different human classes. When we went in to play it, I'm like, medic. I don't want to be the wussy running around with a box of band-aids. But then it turned out that the medic is quite a cool class, because obviously you've got the ability to heal your teammates, but also you've got I think it's the sniper rifle, which sort of shoots. If you shoot the monster with it, creates weak points.
That's the anti-material sniper rifle, and then they have the trank dart as well, which slows the monster down
and makes them trackable on the map as well. So the medic is actually pretty Awesome. Like, I actually really enjoyed being the medic.
The problem with the medic I found was because we all played as all 4 different classes. The problem with the medic was that makes you a target.
That's right.
Makes you a massive target in my match. And that can be countered to a degree by the support class, who can shield players in the same way as a medic can heal players.
Yeah.
So if you're good at it, and we were sort of, getting to grips with it. But if you're good at it, you can have your support class shielding your medic while your medic's healing the rest of the team, and then you can have your, what will we do? You have your medic tranquilizing the monster while your trapper harpoons it.
The poon trank or poon trank?
The poon trank.
Yeah. Actually,
was something we utilised quite a bit.
Well, that was my other favourite class. Is it called the Trapper or
the Trapper? I think, yeah, not the Tracker. I think that confused someone.
Right.
Because they were like, "Why can't I find the monster?" No, it's the Trapper. I think.
Yeah, the Trapper, because you've got the harpoon, which is awesome. You sort of fire it into the monster and hold it like a sea bass kind of thing. Then you've got you can sort of put down that...
Yeah, the mobile arena.
The mobile arena, right, which forms this sort of...
Kind of like a force field.
Energy force field around the sort of 100 metres diameter or whatever, to sort of trap the monster within there while you all rush it and shoot the hell out of it. So yeah, I thought the Trapper and the Medic were sort of the two...
The Trapper was the first thing I played, and I quite enjoyed that, yeah.
The only problem with the harpoon is that it kind of... When it's, like in any game, in any shooter game... When you're being shot at it, sometimes it's hard to work out where you're being shot from. Obviously, there's usually cues with the HUD or whatever. But with the harpoon, you shoot in the monster. The monster basically knows exactly where you are. In the direction of that chain is where you are.
And so he has to face that way to swat the harpoon off. Yeah. So he's going to see you. You're going to be right there. And then
I'm just poon tranking you. Yeah.
And then he'll jump on you and just like slice your face off.
Slice your face off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we played one map from the game.
One map.
We should point out that there's more than one kind of monster. There's a bunch of, I think there's only 4 human classes, but there's a bunch of different weapons and abilities, maybe.
And there's modes as well. The mode we played was just hunt. Right. So there's multiple modes.
Yeah.
Incoming, not that we were made aware of, but.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any kind of narrative component. I mean, there's no single player component, but I don't know if there's kind of a co-op narrative chunk. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Evolve, I don't even know when it's out. It's out within a couple of months, I hope. Or not. Well, the release schedule's always evolving, so I don't know. Let's... Nice save. All right, let's end on that save. Thank you very much, Luke.
Thank you, Tristan.
For all your Evolve needs and wants, stick on IGN.com.